Secretary, what do you hope to accomplish by visiting Portland today?
We hope to have peace and secure some partnerships.
Breaking news at 6 with the Homeland Security Secretary on the ground in Portland.
Also, Governor Tina Kotek takes new action, attempting to demobilize the National Guard. Plus,
they've never seen a real war zone. I mean, it's that simple.
This is kind of a ridiculous misnomer of like what's going on.
How some Portlanders, including veterans, are now pushing back on the war-torn narrative.
and no more wondering where those sirens are coming from. The new high-tech system helping first responders and drivers.
When I put on the emergency lights, it starts to activate, and so anything that's within that distance in front of us will know which way we're going.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Christine Pedowanich.
And I'm David Molko. We continue with breaking news this hour and brand new information just in about Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's surprise visit to Portland.
The secretary met with the governor, Multnomah County Sheriff, Portland Mayor, and Portland Police Chief, among others, as well as toured the ICE building in South Portland. In an interview on Fox News in the past hour, Noem criticized local leaders for not doing enough to protect federal officers at the ICE facility and says she made specific requests, including creating a bigger buffer zone around the building.
Wanted to have their streets opened up again and not let the anarchists run this city anymore, that we would ask them to continue to back us up like we've been asking for instead of what they've been doing the last several months, which is just leaving our officers hang out to dry. The chief asked if I wanted to meet with the mayor, and I said absolutely. Came back and just met with the mayor, and I'm so extremely disappointed. He's continuing to play politics.
Well, Noem again on Fox News saying Mayor Keith Wilson would not commit to those requests outright, then threatened to send 4 times the federal officers to the Rose City. We're going to hear from Chief Bob Day in just a moment. We have reached out to Mayor Wilson to get his response.
For now, let's get right to live team coverage of all of these developments, starting with Kyle Aboshi, live near the ICE facility, who was the only TV reporter to speak with Noem today. Kyle.
Well, it appears Secretary Noem is still in Portland. Her plane is still on the tarmac, but where is she? We don't know exactly. Her office has not been communicating with local media in Portland. Prior to her arrival here at the ICE office, though, Portland police closed off several blocks. In fact, behind me you can see that police tape and a number of peaceful demonstrators standing just beyond the barrier. Unlike most high-profile visits for, say, government officials or dignitaries, this visit did not come with advance warning, and local media was not given access. In a surprise visit, U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem arrived at Portland International Airport late Tuesday morning aboard a U.S. Coast Guard plane. Inside a private terminal, Noem met with Oregon Governor Tina Kotek.
Secretary, what do you hope to accomplish by visiting Portland today?
We hope to have peace and secure some partnerships that will keep our officers safe and allow us to enforce federal law.
Do you have any interest in speaking to Portlanders for an objective view of the situation here?
We believe the president has the right to keep every single citizen safe.
The secretary met with Oregon's governor for roughly 20 minutes in a hastily called meeting.
And so we talked about the situation at the ICE facility and that it's contained to that one block around the building.
Governor Kotek said she expressed concern about the use of tear gas by federal agents protecting the ICE building, which is surrounded by high-rise apartments and condos in Portland's South Waterfront. How would you best characterize the tone of this conversation between the two of you?
I think it was professional and cordial. I mean, she's a former governor, so she knows what my job is. We're trying to talk to each other as people who have to make decisions and keep people safe, and I thought it was a good conversation.
After the meeting, Noem left in a convoy of unmarked cars. She toured the ICE office in South Portland. Local media was not given access. Instead, 3 conservative influencers were allowed to follow Noem, posting video of the secretary inside the ICE building and on top of the roof. Below, a large crowd of peaceful demonstrators filled the sidewalks, many holding signs. Portland police cordoned off several blocks around the building. For several months, a small group of demonstrators has gathered in front of the ICE facility in South Portland, leading to occasional clashes with federal agents protecting the building. The state of Oregon is suing the Trump administration, and this weekend, a judge granted a temporary restraining order, blocking the deployment of the National Guard to Portland. And that legal fight heads to court on Thursday morning. The Ninth Circuit will consider whether to uphold the judge's temporary order blocking the National Guard from deploying in Portland.
And we will keep tabs on that court hearing. Appreciate your persistence in finding Secretary Noem and asking those questions. Thank you, Kyle.
All right, let's bring in Catherine Cook now live at Portland Police Headquarters with the chief who met with the secretary at least twice today, just wrapped up a news conference. Catherine, we heard the secretary there asking for a bigger buffer zone around the ICE facility. Did the chief offer any specifics about what he's willing to do or not to do?
No, at this point, Chief Day said he is open to the possibility of bringing in more police officers to patrol the area around the ICE building, but he did not disclose a specific game plan or any changes that he might make when it comes to the Police Bureau's presence around the ICE facility. The Portland Police Bureau telling us today that Chief Day did not go into the meeting to influence Secretary Noem or the president, but rather he wanted to set the tone for relationships and future communication. Day said, quote, communication is the first step in resolving differences. He also said he will remain engaged in what's happening on the South Waterfront and making arrests when necessary. But again, the key to today's meeting for him was fostering communication.
And we continue to strive for a shared value of safety. The Secretary obviously and understandably is very concerned for the safety of her employees, her officers, as well as the building itself and the ability for it to function. So we really tried to look for ways and solutions that might allow us to reduce some of the conflict and the dissidents down there in a way that's, primarily for the safety of all.
There are expanded roadblocks around the ICE facility currently around South Portland. The Police Bureau telling us those roadblocks will remain in place through tonight, dependent on how long Secretary Noem will stay in Portland. And at this time, they are not disclosing when she plans to leave. Back to you.
Insightful to hear directly from the chief. Catherine Cook reporting downtown outside Central Precinct. Thank you, Catherine.
Well, meanwhile, Governor Kotek is pushing for the Oregon National Guard troops that have been called up to now be demobilized. Since those 200 troops are still under federal control, technically, she made that request to the Pentagon, specifically to Northern Command, pointing to the temporary restraining order that blocks them from being deployed.
She wrote, our citizen soldiers deserve better than to be uprooted from their families and careers only to be mobilized for an illegal mission, positioning our soldiers in opposition to the U.S. Constitution's First, Fourth, and 10th Amendments, of which they have taken an oath to uphold. Right now, it's not clear whether Kotek has the authority to make this demand since the troops have been federalized. Our breaking news continues with Evan Watson now.
And Evan, we've done a lot of reporting in the block or two surrounding the ICE building, including hearing from residents who've had a very hard time with the noise and the tear gas, among other things. And by no means do we want to discount their experiences. But you wanted to widen out a few blocks and talk to a bigger cross-section of Portlanders. What'd they tell you?
Yeah, they said they want to put things in perspective. So let me add some context here. I am currently 3 blocks up from the ICE building, 3 blocks up from Kyle, who you just heard from as well. And this area is full of people enjoying picnics in the park, out here walking their dogs, kids playing games, playing with wagons on the sidewalk, people grabbing dinner, people over here getting some drinks and sitting out at park benches and patio benches and enjoying this nice summer evening. I took a page and a note from the Trump administration and came here to ask Portlanders in this surrounding area what they think about all of this. On Monday, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt claimed Portland is under siege, and then she made a recommendation for reporters.
You should also ask the people who live in Portland. We've actually heard from many members of the community who have said that this is complete civil disobedience. It's a mess. It's been loud.
So we did just that, asking Portlanders in the South Waterfront neighborhood near the ICE building what they think.
Well, it's a beautiful fall day and clearly not a hellscape.
You get half a block away from the ICE headquarters or a block away, and it's just like it always is in Portland, beautiful and peaceful and friendly.
On Tuesday, just blocks from the area targeted by federal officials for military intervention, Portlanders juggled in a park, walked their dogs, ate lunch, and enjoyed the waterfront. Henry Els brought his mom here for her birthday.
To just take the first thing that you hear and blow it out of proportion, I think does a disservice to this area and the people that actually work so hard to make it what it is. I just wish that people would bother to actually look at what it's really like here.
Richard Ekman, a Vietnam veteran, lives near the ICE facility. He said he's only bothered by the military helicopters flying at night over his home.
Take from your hat, you're a veteran yourself?
Yes.
Okay. So when you hear things like this is a war zone, what does that mean to you?
They've never seen a real war zone. I mean, it's that simple.
Every person we talked to on Tuesday laughed at the idea that Portland, and more specifically this area near their homes and workplaces, needs federal troops.
It's a great neighborhood to live in. I don't know how else to describe it.
As David mentioned, I'm not directly next to the ICE building, and a lot of the video that people have seen has focused on that one block. And we do recognize that there are people there who live across from that ICE facility who are very tired of what's going on. Some have blamed the protesters, others have blamed the federal agents for potentially making things worse, and we've shared both of those perspectives in stories on KGW. But from my experience, just a couple of blocks away today, talking with everyone who's passed by me today, saying we wish we could show everyone what it's really like here and how great of a place this is to live, even in these situations that we're talking about and spending so much federal focus on at the moment. Back to you.
Yeah, those people you spoke with really challenging the national narrative. Evan Watson reporting. Thank you, Evan. Stay with us for continuing coverage of the situation surrounding the ICE facility and the National Guard as Thursday's appeals court hearing approaches. Look for the latest here, KGW.com, and on KGW+.
In your headlines tonight, a bicyclist has life-threatening injuries after a crash on 99W in Tigard this morning. Witnesses say the cyclist was headed south on the sidewalk near Walnut Street, but then moved into the bike lane, crossed over the southbound lanes of traffic, and then hit a car that was heading north. The 48-year-old was not wearing a helmet at the time. The driver stayed at the scene, and police say they do not appear to be at fault.
Oregon City Police are looking for a bank robbery suspect from back in July. Officers didn't specify the bank involved, but say the robbery was near Malala Avenue and Warner Milner Road. There is a BMO bank in that area. Suspect details are pretty vague at this point, but police say he is a man about 5'10" to 6 feet tall who escaped on an e-scooter. Anyone with information should contact Oregon City Police.
And the city of Portland is trying to make it easier for mobile vendors, things like food carts and craft vendors, to open in parking lots of local parks. Now, there is a same-day permit system. That means if you have your business license, your insurance, and your other paperwork all in order, you can go online and pay for a permit and open up the very same day. Your business has to operate, by the way, in a motorized vehicle or trailer. No push carts or stand-alone booths allowed. There are around 40 parks open for business, and permits for most cost $5. Joe?
David, we saw a gorgeous day out there for early October. We topped out right around 80 degrees in many locations. In downtown Portland right near from our Pioneer Park building camera, temperature of 78 degrees. And the winds that we've been kind of seeing really since yesterday have really died down. But take a look at some of these numbers. Vancouver, 80 degrees, upper 70s in Scappoose and Hillsborough, 78 degrees over in Wine Country earlier this afternoon. Along the Oregon coast, you saw temperatures in the mid 70s, so not a bad day across our region. Over in the Goose Hollow neighborhood, here's a live look from our Providence Park camera. Temperatures are a little bit cooler in the upper 60s right now. And going into tomorrow, we're going to be seeing a big drop in temperatures, close to 20 degrees. I'm forecasting daytime highs right around the low 60s. We'll be back to cool temperatures, but we remain dry a good portion of the day. More sunshine than clouds, but changes will be moving in by the later part of this week, and that also means changes for the Oregon Cascades. I'll talk more about that in a few minutes.
Oh, living large on the upper 70s, I should say, for one final day.